Hello, my name is Christopher Jones, and this is my final presentation over Global Positioning Systems and Geographic Information Systems, or GPS and GIS. What is GPS? GPS, or Global Positioning System, is a network of orbiting satellites that send precise details of their position from space at fixed points above the planet and beam down signals to Earth. Signals carry a time code and geographical data point that allow users to calculate their exact location, speed, and time obtained by GPS receivers, such as navigation devices. GPS is used by military and civilians. Contrary to popular belief, GPS is not a recent advancement. GPS was first invented in the 1960s during the height of the Cold War. It was only made available to civilians in 1995. This device that you see here is a navigation device, or as we like to call it, a GPS. It simply tells you where you are at any given time. This particular device is a very standard device, and it even comes on most smartphones these days. This device is able to get those signals that we talked about and pinpoint your location and tell you the route that you can take to get from A to B. When you think of GPS, you can simply think of the three words, where am I? Because it takes your latitude and your longitudinal coordinates, pinpoints where you are at any given moment of the day. That's not to be confused with GIS. GIS, Geographic Information System, is a computer system for capturing, storing, checking, and displaying data related to positions on Earth's surface. GIS can show many different kinds of data on one map. This enables people to more easily see, analyze, and understand patterns and relationships. GIS allows us to view, understand, question, interpret, and visualize our world in ways that reveal relationships, patterns, and trends in the forms of maps, globes, reports, and charts. In other words, spatial data. It is estimated that 80% of information is tied to a place. A GIS can perform complicated analytical functions and then present the results visually as maps, tables, or graphs, allowing decision makers to virtually see the issues before them and then select the best course of action. You can think of GIS in terms of layers. Many different types of data can be integrated into a GIS and represented as a map layer. Examples can include streets, parcels, zoning, flood zones, client locations, competition, shopping centers, office parks, demographics, etc. When these layers are drawn on top of one another, as you see to the left, undetected spatial trends and relationships often emerge. This allows us to gain insight about relevant characteristics of a particular location. A comparison of the two. GPS is data collection technology, whereas GIS is data analysis technology. So GPS gathers all the information, GIS analyzes all the information. GPS uses satellites that orbit Earth to send information to GPS receivers that are on the ground. The information helps people determine their location. GIS is a software program that helps people use the information that is collected from the GPS satellites. Some real-world applications of GPS include the GPS technology, as we previously discussed, real-time services like the POIs, or the points of interest that you see on your GPS. It boosts productivity by giving you the quickest route from A to B. It gives you a precise time synchronization that can tell you exactly what time it is wherever you are. And of course, national security. Some applications of GIS, honestly, there is no limit to the kind of information that can be analyzed using GIS technology. Many professions use GIS, including businesses, biologists, city officials, because they're all trying to gain as much information as they can about specific locations and how the environment, or the people in the environment, or the animals in the environment react, adapt, and change according to the environment. But we're going to focus on GPS and GIS in the classroom. For example, a social studies student can explore demographic information for countries of the world. They can visualize historical events, or they can explore natural change over time. If you look at this graph here, you can see this is an interpretation of the percent of adults who report owning a smartphone. If a social studies student was doing a report on the uses of smartphones around the world, this would be the information to use, and it's all gathered by GPS and GIS technology. Now, upon reviewing the chart, you can see that Australia has the top percentage of adults who report owning a smartphone. Now, I'm pretty sure that most students would think it was us or the United States, but if you use the information on the spatial information that we gather from GIS technology, you can clearly see that it's Australia, followed by Israel. This type of information is vital because it allows the students to not be contained to what they see in their classroom or in their cities or in their states, but they can think about it on a worldwide view. A science student can explore natural phenomena such as earthquakes and volcano location. They can also explore the habits of animals and impacts of humans, and many more. If you look at this graph here, this particular bird was fitted with a GPS tracking device, and the GPS tracking device allowed scientists to pinpoint the bird's location at any given time, and they plotted its location, and by plotting its location, they analyzed its migration routes. They figured out where it likes to go at different times of the year. All of this was compiled by GPS and GIS technology. In business and marketing students, as we previously discussed, 80% of information is tied to a spot. So to market a particular area, students can use the GPS and GIS technology to figure out all the information they can about their target area. Once you figure out all the information that you can about their target area, you can figure out how to market it. Or it can be as simple as creating travel routes for a business that will be delivering goods in a town or city. The GPS and GIS can be used to calculate the fastest route from A to B. The quicker you can get your product to your consumers, the quicker you can make the money, and the less gas you'll have to use, which always equates to profit. A language arts student can explore the locations of a book's plot. They can map the travel logs and the journals of a specific author. During my research, I found an English teacher that had her students use the GPS to plot Mark Twain's character as he went in different places in his book, and instead of having to use their imagination to visualize it, they could actually see it on the GPS monitor. A mathematics student can explore mathematical functions of demographic data, such as differences between the number of males and females of cities and the proportions of Hispanic Americans to African Americans in major U.S. cities. You can use this to do functions in math. Health and PE students can explore locations and the spread of diseases and illness in those locations. Lastly, we have geocaching, which is an outdoor game in which participants use GPS tools to hide and seek caches containing a logbook or treasure. In other words, it's a modern-day treasure hunt. These are the actual instructions that a teacher gave her students to complete this activity. It reads, for this activity, students will demonstrate their understanding of geography concepts and flex their creative writing muscles by creating cache-driven adventure stories and engage readers in the geography of their school's neighborhood. So the students were fitted with GPS technology, and the teacher had already set up the caches, and all they had to do was use the technology to locate the caches. Like I said, a modern-day treasure hunt. I hope this presentation was as informative to you as it was to me. Now, coming in, I had no idea what GIS stood for. I knew I was very familiar with GPS, but I did not know that GIS was an important part. You have to use the two congruently or together in order for them to work. And we use this information on a daily basis without even knowing it. From airplane navigation to bus route to simply get from A to B, and from using it in the classroom to plot different points or learn as much as we can about animals. It's a very prevalent and vital tool in our classrooms and society. I hope you enjoyed this presentation as much as I enjoyed giving it, and I hope you have an awesome rest of the day.